Well, hello and welcome to another pond creation video. In this video, I'm going to be creating a still wildlife pond. There's already a small pond here, as you can see. Believe it or not, there is a hole somewhere in this liner. It's full up, well, almost full up with water. We've had a lot of rainfall here. Well, I think it's rained pretty much every day, 2026. So it's working its way up and then it's working its way out of the hole in the liner. So this is all going to be ripped out. I'm going to be keeping this rockwork to one side. I'm going to be using that as my retaining wall for the deeper well section I created in the middle. I'm going to be enlarging the size of this pond to within a footprint of 3 meters by 2 meters. So it's going to significantly enlarge the water volume that we're going to have in here and the amount of habitat and planting that we can put in it. So I'll turn the camera around, give you a quick overview, and we'll start digging. So here is the current pond. As you can see, there's an old lily pot in there, and the liner, like I say, has got a leak somewhere. So I'm going to be removing all this rockwork, moving the clients' garden ornaments and furniture, putting them safely out the way, and then we're going to start marking out an area once this has all been removed, like I say, within 3 meters by 2 meters, and then we can start excavating the larger pond, creating that shallow beach section at one edge, probably be on this side here, and then sloping the edges in so it's safe for wildlife. Any mammals and birds wanting to drink or wash in there, they're not going to tumble in and fall down a steep edge. The only issue I've kind of got with this job is access with a wheelbarrow. I've got these lovely steps to navigate down and then up again through the garage. The garage is the only way back out to the front, but I can cope with that. So it's all going to be hand dug, no luxury of a mini digger on this one. Let's get going. So as you may have just seen in that time lapse, the liners come out, had no protective underlay, had no protective overlay like I will be doing, and also it's this more plasticky kind of material, not the 1mm EPDM rubber that I will be using. This goes brittle, and again, coupled with no underlay or overlay, is probably the main reason why this has failed and the pond was leaking. Okay, pond shape and depth is dug. Down at the bottom there, I'm a metre deep up to lawn height. So time I've got my underlay, my liner and my overlay, a good layer of soil, plus all the rocks. That give me a nice depth because I like to put my lily pot down there. As long as I've got sort of 60 to 80 centimetres of height from the basket to the water, that is where they like it the best. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm probably going to get 2 layers of underlay in here. Some of this ground is a little bit stony. I've got out the worst bits, but just as cheap insurance, 2 layers of the protective aquascape fleece, then the aquascape EPDM 1mm liner, and then another layer of protective fleece on top where the soil and the rocks will start to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, as you've seen, I've built up a fairly decent layer now. We've got the rocks in there. They've created some nice little habitat areas. Got the lily in the pot with the feed-in balls in there to provide it with some growth. What I'm going to do now is cut back the overlayment fleece. So this is the fleece that's going to be wet. This is the pond side, not the underside, this one here. Reason for I'm doing this, I want to cut that short of where it goes out the pond, because what I don't want is the potential of water wicking out of the pond onto the lawn and emptying the pond that way. So what can happen is if this cloth is touching a dry surface where it's wet in the water, it can start pulling out of the pond that way. So I'm going to leave that probably 5-6 inches short of the top of the pond, just being extra careful when I pack the other layer with the soil and the rocks. Obviously I'm not doing any damage to the actual EPDM liner because it won't have any protection, but that just stops that element of wicking. And then once the water level's in, I will then cut the EPDM liner to suit, and then finally the underlayment will be cut back as well. So that is all of the edging done. I've added some river gravel here in with the low nutrient subsoil that the whole pond has been laid with and planted in. All that's left to do is to sow some wetland seed mix in a few of these edge places, give that a light covering of this subsoil, and then that can be left to develop and grow in its own time. So I've just got some of these wetland seed mix, and like I say, just going to scatter. This is a pretty good area for it here, just on the edge. We've got a little bit of a space in this area where the two pavers come together. Just fill that in. A few down here. So I just get some of this low nutrient subsoil. Is what these seeds like to grow in. Weeds don't like it because it's not nutrient rich. They pretty much get this area all to themselves. With the amount of rain we've been having lately, it's not going to take too long, I would imagine, before these start showing signs of sprouting up. It's giving it a covering so any birds that are visiting at the moment don't come and find a little tasty treat. That's all done. Okay, I'm going to leave this tonight. I'm going to be tidying up out the front. Pretty much everything is done. I'm going to come back tomorrow. Hopefully this would have cleared a little bit. Obviously we've got a lot of soil sediment floating on the top. So it might hopefully look a little bit better tomorrow if we don't get any rain tonight disturbing it all. And then the last thing I want to do is put some hornwort in here tomorrow, which is the oxygenating plant. And I've got a couple of water soldiers as well. So we'll get them in tomorrow. But yeah, that's it for today. So, good morning. It's a lovely morning. We didn't have any rain last night. The sediment is starting to clear. We can see a few more of the rocks down below. That will continue to clear over the next few days, and then we'll have a lovely look down into the pond. Hopefully I'll get a revisit here, and then I can show you how this pond is developing. Just one more thing to do, or two things to do. We'll get some hornwort in and the water soldiers in. I'm going to put some hornwort into the pond now. Hornwort is a natural oxygenator. Obviously, by the name of what I've just said, it's going to introduce oxygen into the pond. As this is a still pond, there's no waterfall or running water reintroducing oxygen back into the water. The only way it's going to get it otherwise is a bit of wind blow or obviously rain disturbing the surface, creating oxygen. Hornwort is a brilliant natural way of keeping oxygen into the pond. A good few handfuls in there. This will grow and multiply as well, so once a year give it a thin out. Also got some water soldiers. They're just going to sit on top in the summer, and in the winter when it's colder they'll sink down to the bottom. They're just another feature for the pond that you can introduce. Another one there, as you can see, where the water's cold. It's a cold time of year, February in the UK. They're going to be sinking down at the moment, but in the summer they will come to the surface, and again they will multiply as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been a lovely little pond to create. If you'd like anything like this creating in your garden, please give me a call, give me an email, check out my website. It doesn't have to be a wildlife pond like this. It could be an aquascape ecosystem pond with the running water, the waterfalls, or a pondless waterfall if you didn't want a pond. Check out my website and you can see all the different options of the things that I can create just for you in your garden. Until then, see you on the next one.